Hello, hello. How are you, Marta?
Good, good. How are you?
Good.
Let me just set up this thing so that you can see
What was
us.
that?
I'm trying to set up the screen so that you can see us.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Yeah, looks good.
All right, then that's it.
Amazing.
How are you?
I'm really good. Yeah. Taught again at LL this morning, and we had people live and in person. They actually came to the studio, and the class is also available virtually for anybody that's not ready to come in person yet. So that was interesting today.
Hands-on adjustments, I suppose.
Yes, definitely a big adjustment. And it's also, it makes it like it's already kind of challenging, just fussing with the virtual world, but just having to engage with a computer as well as people that are in the room, having two different points that I have to focus in, to try and engage and make as much eye contact as I possibly can virtually, or with the people that are in person. So it's a lot of like, where do I look first? So just getting used to that, really.
That doesn't look like a very calming experience.
What's that?
It doesn't sound like it's a very calming experience.
Oh yeah, no. Mm-mm. No, not at all. Not at all calming, but just something I have to adjust to for now. So tonight we're going to work with 2 blocks, a blanket, and a bolster. And anything else that you might like. Any additional props. All right, 7:02. Let's get started. Let's just go ahead and close our eyes. And let's tune out of the external world and tune in to our internal world. Just taking a few breaths in and out through the nose. And almost like you're reacquainting yourself with your breath, right? Each time we come to this practice, I mean, I've been doing it for years now, and every time I come to this seat, and I close my eyes, and I just breathe, it feels like a reintroduction to one with their breath. Let's take a big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it away. Sit up a little bit taller. Lean your upper back slightly so that the heart feels more inclined to rise and the collarbones spread, as well as the shoulders widen and melt away from the ears. Let's take another big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it away. The last one, just like that, big breath in. Get a little bit audible on your sigh out. Further deepening your breath. Feeling the support of the harmonium. It produces sound the same way that we produce sound, by breath. Right? It gets pumped with air, filled with oxygen, to produce sound, harmonies, and melodies. We too do the same. Every time we go for an inhale, there's a buoyancy and an expansion across the ribs, across the belly, and across the heart and collarbones. Get multi-dimensional in your breath. Feel the expansiveness, not only in the front body, but in your back body. Breathe into all corners of you. Gather a prayer at your heart. And let's begin practice with the sound of our humming om. First keeping the lips sealed, and then parting way to release your true om. Let's breathe in. Take a moment to receive the healing benefits of your vibrations, both the vibrations in the outside world that fill your space, and more importantly, so the vibrations that you create, right? The vibrations that live within you, that become from you. Honoring your voice because no one else can sound or resonate the way that you can, and the way that you can for yourself. Big breath in. Audible sigh out of the mouth. Breathe your eyes open. And let's come to lay on our backs for Banana Asana. Creating a nice big X shape at the center of your mat. Legs spread wide, finding the corners, the bottom corners of your mat. Arms reach up alongside the ears, finding the corners of the mat up above you. Settle in here. Take a big breath in. Sigh out of the mouth. And feel yourself grow heavier on the ground. And then when you're ready, cross the left ankle over the right. Left hand finds the right wrist. Allow your right cheek to softly fall towards your right armpit. Close the eyes and breathe in. And breathe out. And begin your excavation of the voice and what it means to resonate for yourself by means of vocal assist to the body, humming yourself into deeper depths within the pose, humming yourself into releasing. And let the hums be what helps you soften right into the pose. Finding that release. Anything that's holding on or clinging, any stagnation, Let it breathe in, coming in through the nose. And then a hum on the breath out. It's okay if it sounds groggy. Just let the sounds come out of you. Let them sound like you. And let them come out any which way they need to come out. No judgment. Just observing. Taking note. We have a little less than a minute left here. And hum with this knowledge of, that you are in a safe space. You've been muted. No one can hear you but yourself within your space. Total privacy. Total privacy to explore by any means necessary. And take a final breath in here. And a breath out of the mouth. Release your feet. Release your hands. Find the X at the center of your mat. Pausing there for a brief moment. And then crossing over the right ankle over the left. Right hand finds the left wrist or forearm. Allow the left cheek to softly fall towards the left armpit and close your eyes. Breathing in through the nose. Sigh out of the mouth. And go in. Avoid any pinching that may be happening in the lower spine. If any discomfort comes up, then just lessen the bend, right? Lessen the curve of your banana, right? It can have less shape to it and finding more length instead of a bend, right? So there's places we can go without harm, right, or force. Rather approaching ourselves and approaching our practice with compassion and patience. And to do it for the healing, right? And not for the sake of going the deepest, right? If you can, that's great. But that's not, again, what the practice is about. It's about the healing in ways that are honest to what the body needs, right? Instead of what the ego can do. Let the belly be buoyant and soft. Just soft in a way that the breath feels invited to come and go. Come and go, come and go. Continue to excavate your vocal assists, breathing in through the nose. And then hum on the breath out. One last big breath in. A sigh on the breath out. Release your feet and your hands. Find that X shape at the center of your mat. Take little stretches, reaching through the limbs. Yeah. And then maybe you find the stretch at the diagonal. Let's start reaching through the right foot and then the left fingertips, reaching at the diagonal, reaching to opposite corners, breathing in. Maybe the limbs reach off the ground just an inch. And then you exhale, let it go. Nice. Let's try that again on the other side. This time is through the left foot and the right fingertips. We're going to breathe in and reach the limbs away. Breathe in. Exhale, let it go. Nice. Last time, we'll reach through all four limbs, finding all four corners. Breathe in, reach. Keep pulling the navel in towards the spine. Breathe in. Exhale, let it go. Fall heavy on the ground. Yeah, nice. And the legs come together. Arms by your side. Step the feet to the ground one by one. Gently pull the knees in towards the chest. And up to you if you rock forward and back, or you just roll to the side. Whichever one feels best to come up to a seat. And we'll make our way into our second pose, toe squat. Haven't done this one in a while. Getting extra grounded today in honor of Women's History Month, and I thought it best to appreciate none other than the greatest mother of all, Mother Earth. So we're going to tuck our toes under. Hips and knees are in line with each other, and you could even squeeze the legs together gently squeezing. And we come to sit on our heels. Maybe you take those blocks, we have them, right? We can take them outside of our hips, just so that our hands have a place to land if we don't want any added weight. But of course, this isn't that much weight. You can very well allow the hands to rest in the lap, but it's nice to have choices. And then close the eyes, soften into the pose. And we'll be here for maybe about 2 or so minutes. If there's any discomfort in the knee area, you can very well take your blanket and wedge it beneath your seat. That'll take a little pressure off of the knees. I actually might just leave it there. That feels rather nice. So even if you're not experiencing that uncomfortable pressure in the knees, this just might be really nice in general. It's very soft, very cushioning, and it feels more welcoming to the knees, right? More spaciousness to allow the blood flow, the oxygen flow, ultimately the prana flow, which is our life force. In yoga, they speak of prana in yoga classes all the time, because the prana is breath matched with movement. And even though we're not moving here in the yin practice, the breath is. And so we want to be careful as to not completely restrict the joint area, but even though there's compression, we want there to be some flow, some buoyancy there. And that's why we use our props. Our sit bones are nice and heavy, but our belly and our heart, they're light, right? They're soft. At least we try. So as the breath feels supple and invited to enter, as well as leave, without push or shove, without force or give, right? But rather maybe a sweet desire to be fully engaged with the breath. I know this is a big one, so let's breathe in through the nose. And then flutter the lips. Another one like that. Big breath in. Flutter the lips on the breath out. You can allow it to be audible anytime. And even here, see if you can tap into your sound. See where it goes in the body. And believe it or not, we've been here for 3 minutes, so let's take a big breath in. A big sigh out of the mouth. Sigh of relief, right? Walk your hands forward. Weight is in the hands. Lifting the feet off of the ground, just allowing the toes to naturally uncurl, right? And then you might slowly begin to make some movements with the toes. You can remove your blanket, leave it to the side for now. And then little pitter-patter at the tops of the feet on the ground if that feels nice. And then we're gonna gently retuck our toes. Hands are on our blocks. And then we're gonna press into our hands to lengthen our legs for dangling pose. Feet are hips distance apart. And I personally like to keep the hands far away from me. This keeps me from sinking back into my heels, which can stress the hamstrings, right? We don't want to stress, we want to release. So the way to counteract that would be to keep the heels grounded, but distribute the weight so that it's more in the toes, right? So that the sit bones, the gluteus maximus, right? That's the highest point on our sit bones, to lift up towards the sky, right? So that it's more lift from the gluteus maximus than from the lower back. And then we just allow the head to dangle in space. Maybe you shake the head no. And then shake it out yes. Leaving it on a good note. Take a big breath in. Flutter your lips on the breath out. And this is where we'll stay. Of course, feel free to explore where you feel most comfortable with your hands. You can always try it with the hands underneath the shoulders, but still keeping that intention of the weight in the toes, right? Not in the heels. Your hamstrings will thank you. And explore. You might walk the hands back forward and then back under the shoulders just to see what you like more. I'm going to leave you to it. We're going to hang here for another minute or so. Anytime you need to rock out the head or make sounds, do it, right? Yin is the practice of release, not holding. Even though we hold the postures for a while, we need to, the purpose is to find release in the holds, right? Softness in the holds, spaciousness in the holds. So good. Nice. A little less than a minute left to go. See where you can further engage, engaging with the feet. Final breath in. Flutter your lips on the breath out. Slowly begin to walk your hands forward with your blocks, lowering the knees to the ground. Slow, slow, slow. Take your blocks to the side for now. Take any sort of movements that feel good. Maybe extending through the legs, one at a time. And then we're coming into the next pose, which is a, let's see, yes, it's a dragon pose. So it's a low lunge. And we'll just step into it. Feel free to get into it from a down dog or however you like to step your right foot forward. If you're just coming into it from the ground, you'll tuck your back toes under so that you just create a bit of length there in the back of the leg. Lift in the heart as well. Squeeze that right hip in towards the midline. Low belly pulls in. And then slowly lower the back knee down, untucking the toes. Allow the hips to heavy, melting forward and down. Nice. And yeah, you can choose your variation. I know some folks like to have the hands on the inside of the front foot. Some like to frame the front foot. So up to you how you'd like to have your arm variation. Start the clock. Allow your eyes to close. Breathe in through the nose. Flutter through the lips. Now, even though we're working into the hip area, try not to shrug the shoulders up towards the ears, right? We might start to compensate and start to crowd in because we can start to feel a lot in the hips. So try not to dunk into the shoulders. Instead, find lift of the heart, pressing the palms into your blocks or the ground, whatever you're making connection with. We try not to sacrifice other parts of our body for the sake of a pose, right? We try to take the whole form with it as consciously as we can. And without aggressive holds, right? Muscular holds. Because we are, using our voices every class. I know I'm always talking about the voice. But because we're in a hippie pose right now, right? We're in this low lungy dragon pose. We're reminded that the voice needs the hips in order to resonate. It uses the muscles of the hips and the back to bring sound to the vocal cords, to the lips, to the tongue, to the lips, right? You know. So explore the hums. Even though the hips are lifted and kind of floating in space, see what kind of connection you can make. Voice to hips. Breathing in through the nose. And then humming on the breath out. Final breath in here. Give me a hum on the breath out. Like you're smelling something yummy. And then press your hands into your blocks to lengthen the front leg. Lift the front toes, sit the hips back. Keep the heart nice and lifted. You can walk the blocks back as much as you need. We'll go for a little quick twist. Left hand stays down on the block. Right arm reaches forward and up. Little IT band stretch here. Yeah. If the ground feels far away, you can always heighten that block to the highest setting. Yeah. And that way you get more lift. You can squeeze that right hip in towards the midline. Yeah. One more big breath in. Exhale, circle the arm back behind you and down to the front to your block again. Rebend your front knee and heel toe, the right foot all the way to the left side. And actually, before you do that, heel toe all the way back. If you need to come out of it, grab your props, grab your bolster. I know I need it for this next one. This next one is pigeon pose, AKA swan. So we'll find that lunge if you had to come out of it like me. And we'll heel toe once again, right foot all the way to the left side of the mat. The shin melts down. Maybe it's parallel to the top of the mat, but doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be. The hips are resting on the bolster. And our back toes are tucked just so that we find that lift and that alignment of the hips, right? The right hip is open. The left hip is neutral. When you found that, you can untuck the toes and feel free to stay lifted for a few breaths. Close the eyes. Take a breath in and a breath out. And we'll stay lifted here for as long as we need to, right? Or as long as we'd like, until we feel called to fold forward for a sleeping swan. Anytime you're ready to do that, you'll take your blocks with you. Maybe one goes under the heart, the other one catches the third eye. And since we're still in the hips, things are only going to get yummier. They're only going to get yummier with the work and the use of our voices, especially if we are folded forward and our third eye is in connection to a block. Will resonate that much more grandly. So let's try. Take a breath in. And then hum on the breath out, right? We feel the the vibrations, the resonance in the hips and in the third eye because they're in contact with something. They're in connection to the earth ultimately, right? Because the way that we look at props in yoga is not an infringement on the practice, but rather a support. It's bringing the ground to us. It's creating the earth in a way that supports us. You know, if we can't reach the bare earth as is, right? We build it. We build it up for ourselves. And so with more connection to body, to earth, whether it's earth itself or props, the resonance that we send out comes right back to us because of that connection, that physical connection. So explore. Breathe in through the nose. And then hum on the breath out. A little less than a minute left here. And then I'll leave you to it, to explore your voices. Yum, yum, yum. Explore sounds or even words that you think might feel good to the body. Or yum. And last breath in. And then maybe hum on the breath out. Walk your hands back if you folded forward. And then gently weight into the right hip. Swing your left leg long to the front of the mat. And then we'll just slide off our bolster. We'll use it for this next pose. We'll have our blanket back behind us for a seat. We're coming into square pose. So just a little seat so that our hip bones are higher than our knees. We're coming into square with the left shin stacked on top of the right. So I will assist myself holding on to the left shin, and I will stack ankle on top of knee. And if I have a gap, a little bit of space between my top knee and my bottom ankle, then I'll fill it in. I'll fill it in with a block. Yeah. And then the bolster is just the icing on the cake. You just lay it right there on top of your lap. A little extra added weight, but it's also additionally soothing, I find. And stay upright. And close the eyes. Take a breath in through the nose. A gentle sigh out of the mouth. And your hands can rest here on the bolster. They can even rest on the ground outside of your hips, right? Further connecting with Mother Earth. You can even allow a soft tuck of the chin towards the chest, so there's an element of bowing in and quieting and softening, as if you were folding forward. I'm going to leave you with silence for this pose, to explore your voices, to explore your breath. Focus on the breath. And focus of peace. big breath in. Generous sigh on the breath out. Open your eyes. Remove your bolster. Assist your top leg off of the bottom leg, nice and slow. Lengthen out both of your legs. Take any sort of movements that feel good. Maybe just stillness. Receive the postures. Maybe you step the feet to the ground and take a few gentle windshield wipers. Gentle, gentle. And then we'll make our way forward to the top of our mat, setting up for dragon again on the left side. Doing everything that we just did, but on the left. Left foot steps forward. Create the space. Get into it any which way you need to. Find the softness. Allow the eyes to close. And take yourself away. Right? Pull yourself deeper into this practice. Pull yourself away further and further from the outside world so that we develop a deeper sense of internal listening. Listening to the body, the breath, the heart. Let the internal conversation be so deep that it excites you to be more curious about quieting the self more and listening more, right? Just giving ourselves more opportunities of coming to this practice, coming to stillness, whether it be a full-length class or just finding a seat to be with yourself in a little bit of darkness, right? Allowing the eyes to close so that the internal eye can open. So that we find the light within the darkness. Every time we come to this practice or a meditation, it's just opportunity to cleanse the inside of us so that we come back out into the world. It's like we're fresh. We're seeing with fresh eyes. Maybe even sensing with a fresh heart and a fresh mind. Because we're so much more connected to breath and the present moment. Final breath in for your dragon. Let the breath go. Press into your hands. Lengthen the front leg long. Lift the front toes. Squeeze that left hip back and in towards the midline. Walk those blocks back so that you find more lift in the heart. Maybe blocks to the highest setting. Keep your right hand planted as your left arm reaches forward and up towards the sky. Press down through the bottom limbs, almost grounding so much that it brings and lifts you higher. right? It's a pressing down that lifts us up. Breathe in. On your exhale, circle your arm back behind you, then down to find your blocks again. Walk yourself forward, rebending the front knee. Propping up as you need. We're not going to forget our props this time. Bolster underneath the hips. Then we'll heel toe, the left foot all the way to the right side of the mat. Peel the the left knee down to the ground, parallel to the top of your mat. Back toes are tucked so that we find the alignment of our right hip. It's neutral, the hip is pointing downward. Left hip is open and peeling open. When you're ready, you can untuck the toes and stay lifted for a few breaths in your swan pose. And then, just like we did on the right side, whenever you feel called to fold forward, taking the fullest expression of your sleeping swan, you may do so. Anytime you're ready. Explore your voices. Go in deeper. Allow it to feel like an intimate conversation between you, your breath, and your voice to the body. All right? Fluctuating through the voice from low sounds to high sounds. Reminder, it doesn't have to sound pretty, it just has to feel good, and it has to, or not has to, but we try to get it to resonate into the places, into the parts of our body that feel good, that help us to release and help us to soften. It might feel nice to rock your third eye from side to side on that block, giving a massage to the third eye, to the eyebrows, to the cranium, to the thoughts. A little less than a minute here. Last breath in for your sleeping swan pose. Maybe hum on the breath out. Press into your hands to roll up to sit up. Gently lean your weight into your left hip to swing your right leg around to the front. Slide off of your props. Take them to the side. Lengthen your legs. Take any sort of movements or stillness that you'd like. And then we'll come into our square pose. Left shin is on the bottom. I'll face you this time. We've got our blanket behind us for our seat. Just a little wedge to get our sit bones nice and high so we don't collapse into the lumbar spine. And we will assist our right shin to stack on top of the left, meeting the ankle to knee, wedging a block in between the gaps if we need, and then putting the bolster across the lap for the icing on the cake. Stay upright and close your eyes. Allow your hands to find the bolster, or better yet, connect with Mother Earth. Take a breath in and a breath out. Settle in. Be sure to soften any tension that might be held in the feet or the belly. Jaw, face. Just take a whole body scan. Check in. Allow yourself to release any unnecessary tensions or holds you might be creating. There's always little things we can do. Little things we can do to find deeper release. Could be just a gesture of turning the palms upright. Even softening the eyelids. A minute left here. Beautiful, beautiful Sam, beautiful Marta. You have a few more moments. Stay present with the breath. Stay close and not too far. Final breath in. And a sigh out of the mouth. Open your eyes. Place your bolster to the side. Assist your top leg off of the bottom. Blocks to the side. Lengthen your legs out. Take any sort of movements, anything that feels good, or stillness. And then we're gonna set up for our final pose, Shavasana. And we're really gonna set this one up nice since we've got a few minutes. We're gonna take a nice restorative version. So you're gonna take your blocks and you're gonna stack them one next to the other. It's almost not all the way towards the bottom of your mat, but little bit. You see where I'm placing it. And then we'll take our bolster and we will lay it right here behind the blocks, right? So our feet are going to go up and over the bolster, and our thighs will be supported by the bolster. Now, I believe you guys have a lot of props there, which is great. I have one less prop. So I'll show you here what we're doing. We're going to create a little vegan burrito. And we'll put that right here at the top of our, at the back of our mat. That's where our feet will rest. If you have a second blanket nearby, take it and then just create a pillow, folding the blanket in half, right? That'll come behind you to rest your head, and it'll rest just above the shoulders, right? Just like so, yeah. And I'm gonna do that. Since I have one blanket, I'm gonna use it for my head. I'm gonna swing my legs up and over the bolster. Oh, my thighs are nice and supported. And even though I don't have that roll there for my heels, they're still grounded. But if you have the props, I say go for the roll and go for the pillow. Do the whole shebang. That's it. Nice. Get nice and cozy. Spread the arms wide, palms face up. Close your eyes. Take a big breath in through the nose. Sigh out of the mouth. Another breath in through the nose. This time hum on the breath out. A few more times, we'll add on a few more sounds. Let's breathe in. Breathe out to hum. Another one like that with the addition of one more sound, breathing in. Breathing in. And then just calming the central nervous system. If you'd like a few more, feel free. Otherwise, surrender. Let the legs be heavy. Arms are heavy. Even the back of the head is heavy. Start to breathe a little deeper. And wiggle your fingers and your toes. And reach your arms up over your head. Take a big stretch and breath in. A gentle sigh and the breath out. Pull your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug. And then rock over to your left side. Pausing there for a brief, beautiful moment. Honoring Mother Earth. Keeping your eyes heavy and closed, press yourself up to sit. And find a prayer at your heart. Sealing practice the same way we started, as well as the way we threaded throughout class. Our humming ohms. We took it with us throughout our journey, throughout our practice. So let's conclude in the same way. Big breath in. Bow your third eye in to meet your prayer. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you.